The massive alien ship hung in Earth's orbit like a silver teardrop. Inside, Taiho looked at the blue planet through the viewing screen. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the readouts. "Another young world," he said, touching the screen with a 6-fingered hand. "Barely a century of space travel. Primitive fusion technology. No gravity control." Jisoo joined him at the console. Her skin was the same pale purple as Taiho's, but the markings on her neck showed her higher rank. "The Council rates them Category 3, she said. "Developing, but with potential." Taiho nodded. "Like children just learning to walk. Children who split the atom and reached their moon using chemical rockets." Jisoo reminded him. "The Galactic Consortium is interested in them." The ship's captain, Da-sung, entered the bridge. His uniform carried the gold symbols of the consortium's exploration fleet. "We make contact in 6 hours, he announced. "Jisoo, you will lead the diplomatic team. Taiho, prepare your scientific analysis." For decades, humans had searched the stars for signs of life. They sent radio signals into space. They built better telescopes. They launched probes to nearby stars. But they never expected first contact to happen on an ordinary Tuesday. The aliens simply appeared. Their ships emerged from what they called fold space near Jupiter. They sent messages in all Earth languages. They asked to meet. Now, 6 hours later, the consortium's shuttle descended toward the United Nations headquarters in New York. Inside, Jisoo reviewed the greeting protocols one last time. "Remember," she told her team, "these humans have never met beings from another world. We must be gentle with them." On the ground, crowds gathered behind barriers. News cameras broadcast to billions of people worldwide. President Kim of the United Nations stood with other world leaders on a red carpet. The shuttle touched down silently. When the door opened, humans gasped. The aliens walked out on 2 legs, but everything else was different. Purple skin, 4 eyes, 6 fingers on each hand, heights ranging from 7 to 9 feet tall. Jisoo stepped forward first. She wore no breathing mask. Their scientists had confirmed Earth's atmosphere was safe. She raised her hand in the human gesture they had studied. "People of Earth," she said in perfect English, "I greet you on behalf of the Galactic Consortium, a union of 37 spacefaring civilizations." President Kim stepped forward. His hands trembled slightly, but his voice was steady. "We welcome you to Earth, and thank you for this historic moment." Over the next week, humans learned many things. The galaxy contained many intelligent species. Most had developed space travel within the last 10,000 years. The consortium classified worlds by their technology level. Earth was Category 3. Interesting, but not advanced. In the consortium embassy that was quickly built in Geneva, Taiho compiled his report. Earth was younger than most consortium worlds. Humans had only reached their moon about 150 years ago. Their computers were basic. Their medicine was still fighting diseases that other worlds had cured long ago. Yet there was something about humans that puzzled him. They learned quickly. They adapted. Their genetic structure showed unusual complexity. "They're resilient," he told Jisoo one evening. "Most young species are cautious when meeting more advanced civilizations. Humans are eager." Jisoo agreed. The Council has approved limited technology sharing. Medical advances first, then improved solar power, like giving toys to children, Taiho said. "Be careful with such thoughts," Jisoo warned. "Yum does not mean simple. I believe these humans may surprise us yet." Little did they know how right she was, or how deeply they had misjudged Earth's true history. 6 months after first contact, humans and aliens had settled into an uneasy friendship. The consortium shared basic medical technology. Earth governments offered cultural exchange programs. News reports showed aliens visiting human cities. Children played with alien toy figures. Do-hyun, the consortium's chief archaeologist, was different from his colleagues. While others studied Earth's technology, he was interested in Earth's past. He spent days in museums examining ancient human artifacts. One morning, Du Hyun burst into Taiho's laboratory. His purple skin was flushed with excitement. "Look at these readings," he said, placing a tablet on Taiho's desk. "My scanners found something strange in the place humans call the Gobi Desert." Taiho examined the data. "This energy signature doesn't match anything in Earth's technology records." "Exactly," Du Hyun said. "And the signal comes from 200 meters underground. Whatever it is, it's been there a very long time." Taiho looked concerned. "Have you told Jisoo?" "Not yet. I wanted your opinion first." Taiho studied the readings again. "This could be important. We should assemble a team." 3 days later, Du Hyun led a mixed group of aliens and humans to the Gobi Desert. The human scientist Han Bin represented Earth's Archaeological Council. He was tall for a human, with serious eyes and a quiet voice. "Your scanners detected something our instruments never could," Han Bin said as they set up camp. "We've studied this area before and found nothing unusual." Do Hyun nodded. "Your technology is still developing. Our scanners can detect energy patterns even when dormant for thousands of years." The team set up drilling equipment. Unlike human drills that used physical force, the alien machine created a clean tunnel using sound waves. They descended slowly through layers of rock and sand. At 198 meters, the scanner began beeping rapidly. "We're close," Du Hyun said. The final 2 meters took 3 hours to clear safely. When the dust settled, everyone stared in silence. Before them was a door, a perfect metal rectangle embedded in the rock. No handles, no visible seams, just a smooth surface with strange symbols carved into it. "Impossible," Han Bin whispered. "This shouldn't be here." Do Hyun scanned the door. "The metal contains elements not on your periodic table. And these symbols." Han Bin stepped closer. "They don't match any known human language, ancient or modern." "How do we open it?" asked one of the alien scientists. Han Bin touched the surface gently. To everyone's surprise, the door responded to his touch with a soft blue glow. Lines of light spread from his fingertips across the symbols. "It's reacting to you," Du Hyun said, amazed. "Try pressing the center pattern." Han Bin did as suggested. With a low humming sound, the door slid open, revealing a chamber beyond. The air that rushed out was stale but breathable. Inside, they found a room with walls made of the same strange metal. The chamber contained tables, chairs, and devices unlike anything humans had built. Everything was covered in a fine layer of dust. "This isn't primitive technology," Du Hyun said, examining one of the devices. "This is advanced, possibly more advanced than some consortium technology." Han Bin looked confused. "But who built it? And when?" Do Hyun ran his scanner over the walls. "According to this, the chamber has been sealed for at least 50,000 years. "That's impossible," Han Bin said. "Humans that long ago were still using stone tools. They lived in caves. They hadn't even invented farming." Do Hyun looked at him with all 4 eyes wide. "Then who built this, and why is it responding to human touch?" Back at the consortium embassy, Taiho received Du Hyun's initial report. He read it 3 times, unable to believe what it said. Then he called Jisoo. "We need to reassess everything we think we know about Earth," he told her. "Something doesn't match our understanding of human history." Jisoo frowned. "What have you found?" "I think," Taiho said slowly, "Earth might not be as young as we thought." News of the underground chamber spread quickly. The consortium sent more scientists. Earth governments sent security teams. Everyone wanted answers. Inside the chamber, Du Hyun carefully examined each object. In the center of the room stood a round table with a metal disc embedded in its surface. Strange symbols covered the disc, similar to those on the door. "We've tried every scanning technique," Du Hyun told Han Bin. "But we still don't know how to activate these devices." Han Bin walked around the table. These symbols look familiar somehow, like I should know them. Do-hyun recorded everything with his data collector. The materials are unlike anything in our database. Some components contain elements we've only seen in stars. Han-bin reached out and touched the center disk. Just like the door, it responded with a soft blue glow. Lines of light spread across the surface. The symbols began to shift and change. "It's doing it again," Do-hyun said. "It only responds to you." Han-bin placed both hands on the disk. "It feels warm, like it's scanning me." Suddenly, the disk projected a bright light upward. The beam expanded into a three-dimensional map of stars. Hundreds of points of light filled the room, connected by glowing lines. "It's a star map," Do-hyun whispered. "But these star configurations..." He studied the projection. "This shows star systems thousands of light years beyond consortium space, and these paths between them, they're travel routes." Han-bin pointed to one bright point. "Is this Earth?" "I believe so," Do-hyun said. "But something is wrong. Some of these stars shown here died thousands of years ago. This map must be incredibly old." The consortium's governing council was alarmed by the reports. They sent Suho, their leading historian, to investigate. Suho was older than Taeho and Jisoo. The markings on his neck showed his high status. When Suho entered the chamber, he froze. His four eyes widened. "I know these symbols," he said. Everyone turned to him. "You've seen them before?" Jisoo asked. Suho nodded slowly. "They match ruins found on 23 different worlds across the galaxy. We call them precursor symbols." "Precursors?" Han-bin asked. "A myth," Taho explained. "A story about an ancient race that explored the galaxy long before any known civilization." "Not a myth," Suho said firmly. "I studied the fragments for decades, but we've never found anything this complete." Suho approached the star map, still glowing above the table. "This changes everything we know about galactic history." Han-bin looked confused. "But what does this have to do with humans? Why does it respond to human touch?" Suho turned to him. "That is the great puzzle. The precursor ruins are at least 100,000 years old. Human civilization is barely 10,000 years old. Unless..." Do-hyun began, then stopped. "Unless what?" Jisoo asked. "Unless we're wrong about human history," Do-hyun said. Suho studied Han-bin with all four eyes. "We need to run genetic tests. There may be a connection we don't understand." Late that night, Han-bin couldn't sleep. He kept seeing the star map in his mind. The symbols felt familiar, like words on the tip of his tongue. In his quarters, he drew the symbols from memory. As he completed the last one, a strange feeling came over him. He knew what they meant. Somehow, he could read them. The next morning, Han-bin found Suho. "I need to tell you something," he said. "Last night, I realized I can read some of the symbols." Suho stared at him. "That should be impossible." "The largest symbol in the center," Han-bin said. "It means home." Suho looked shocked. "You're right. How could you know that?" Before Han-bin could answer, an urgent message came from Earth's government. "They want to meet immediately," Jisoo told them. "They say they have information about the chamber." "What kind of information?" asked Taho. Jisoo looked at her screen. "They say it's not the first one they've found." The meeting room was deep underground in a government building in Geneva. Security guards checked everyone before entry. No recording devices were allowed. Inside, Minji waited for them. She wore the blue uniform of the United Earth government. Her face was serious as she greeted the aliens and Han-bin. "What I'm about to share has been secret for over a century," she said. "Only 12 people on Earth know about this." She pressed a button. A screen lit up, showing images of artifacts similar to those found in the Gobi Desert. In 2031, researchers in Antarctica found something under the ice. Minji explained. A door with strange symbols, just like yours. Tai-ho leaned forward. You've known about this technology for over a century. Min-ji nodded. We found more sites after that. One in the Amazon rainforest. Another under the Pacific Ocean. 7 sites total. Why keep this secret? Jisoo asked. Fear, Min-ji said simply. Fear of what it meant. Fear of public panic. And we couldn't activate most of the technology anyway. Suho studied the images. These are definitely precursor artifacts. But why are they on Earth? Min-ji looked at them all. I'm authorized to show you our main site. You need to see it yourselves. 2 days later, they boarded a special aircraft. It flew south for hours until white ice filled the windows. They landed at a small base marked as a research station. An elevator took them deep under the ice. When the doors opened, Hanbin gasped. They stood at the entrance of a massive chamber. Unlike the small room in the Gobi Desert, this was the size of a large building. The walls glowed with a faint blue light. Rows of display cases filled the space, containing artifacts, crystal devices, and strange machines. Welcome to Archive 1, Min-ji said. The first and largest site we discovered. Teams of scientists worked at different stations. Some examined small devices. Others documented symbols on the walls. You've been studying these artifacts for a century, Do-hyun asked, amazed. Min-ji nodded. With limited success. Most devices won't activate for us. The few that do only work partially. Suho moved from case to case, examining the artifacts. These match fragments found on dozens of worlds across the galaxy, but never this complete, this intact. Why are they here? Jisoo asked. What connection do they have to Earth? Min-ji led them to a central platform. That's what we've been trying to understand. The symbols tell part of a story, but we can only read a fraction of them. Hanbin approached one of the walls. Like before, the symbols seemed familiar to him. He touched a panel, and it lit up under his fingers. They all respond to human touch, Min-ji explained. But they seem to want specific humans. Some people get no response. Others, like Hanbin, get strong reactions. Suho was making rapid notes. This changes everything we thought we knew about galactic history. The precursors weren't just visitors to Earth. They had a major presence here. Tai-ho examined a small device in one case. These technological principles are beyond even consortium science. How advanced were they? We have theories, Min-ji said, but no concrete answers. The consortium has found similar artifacts on other worlds, Suho explained. But always broken, always incomplete. This archive is unprecedented. Hanbin walked the length of the room, touching panels that lit up as he passed. Why do they respond to me? Why do these symbols make sense to me? Suho watched him closely. There must be a connection between humans and the precursors. We need to compare genetic samples. We've already started that research, Min-ji said. Our scientists have found unusual sequences in human DNA that don't match evolutionary patterns. What are you saying? Jisoo asked. Min-ji looked at them all. We think humans might be connected to these precursors in ways we don't fully understand. These aren't just alien artifacts on our world. She paused, then finished her thought. We think they might be our ancestors. For the next 2 weeks, both human and alien scientists worked together in the Antarctic facility. Suho spent hours studying the artifacts. Do-hyun mapped the locations of all 7 sites around Earth. Tai-ho and Jisoo coordinated with the Consortium Council, sending careful reports about their findings. Hanbin worked with the human scientist Junho, who specialized in genetics. Junho was younger than the others, with bright eyes and quick hands. He had studied human DNA for 15 years. Look at this, Junho said one morning, pointing to his screen. We compared Hanbin's DNA with the genetic material found on some of the artifacts. Tai-ho leaned closer. What am I seeing? Matching sequences, Junho explained. Parts of Hanbin's DNA match patterns found in the ancient technology. That's why it responds to them. Suho joined them. Are these matches found in all humans? Junho shook his head. Not exactly the same. But all humans have some version of these sequences. People like Hanbin have stronger matches. Suho looked thoughtful. We should compare human DNA with other species. They gathered samples from the aliens and ran the tests. Hours later, they had their answer. Nothing matches, Junho said, showing them the results. These special sequences only appear in human DNA. That's impossible, Taiho said. Genetic patterns follow evolutionary rules. If these sequences were natural, similar patterns would exist in other Earth life. Unless, Suho said slowly, these sequences aren't natural at all. Everyone looked at him. Are you suggesting human DNA was engineered? Jisoo asked. Suho nodded. The evidence points that way. These sequences appear designed, not evolved. The room fell silent, as everyone considered what this meant. Actually, Junho said quietly, some Earth scientists have wondered about this for years. He brought up old research papers on his screen. There are jumps in human evolution that are hard to explain, times when we change too quickly, and parts of our DNA that don't match any other Earth species. Minji, who had been listening silently, spoke up. Our oldest myths speak of gods who came from the sky and created humans. We thought they were just stories. Hanbin touched one of the artifacts on the table. It glowed blue under his fingers. So the precursors didn't just visit Earth. They made us. Or they changed you, Suho suggested. Modified an existing species to create modern humans. But why? Jisoo asked. Why would they engineer a new species and leave their technology buried around the planet? Junho had been running more tests. There's something else, he said. The technology doesn't just respond to human touch. It reads genetic information. It's scanning for specific sequences. Like a key, Taiho realized. Human DNA is the key to this technology. Do-hyun, who had been studying a map of the 7 sites, called them over. Look at this pattern. The sites form a perfect 7-point star around Earth. It can't be random. The central point would be, Hanbin calculated quickly, somewhere in Africa, Eastern Africa. Junho's eyes widened. That's where the earliest human fossils were found. The birthplace of our species. Suho turned to Minji. We need to go there. There must be something at that central point. Minji nodded. I'll arrange transport immediately. That night, Hanbin couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what they had learned. Humans weren't just a young species. They were created, or at least changed, by an ancient, advanced civilization. When he finally did sleep, he dreamed of stars, of traveling between them, of worlds far beyond Earth. And somehow, in his dream, he knew the way. He woke suddenly. Someone was knocking on his door. It was Junho, looking excited despite the early hour. I found something, he said. In the deepest parts of our DNA. It's not just a key. What is it? Hanbin asked. Junho's eyes were bright. It's a message, and I think I know how to read it. The team flew to Eastern Africa the next day. Using their calculations, they narrowed the central point to a dry valley in Ethiopia. To normalize, it looked like any other piece of land. Rocks, dust, and sparse trees. But Do-hyun's scanners showed something different. There's a structure underground, he said, bigger than any site we found so far. Unlike the other sites, this one had no entrance. They searched for hours in the hot sun. Maybe we need to make our own way in, Taiho suggested. No, Hanbin said suddenly. He walked to a flat rock in the center of the valley. It's here. He placed his hand on the rock. Nothing happened. Junho joined him. The message in our DNA. I think we need more than one person. He put his hand next to Hanbin's. Still nothing. Minji, Hanbin called. We need you too. Minji placed her hand on the rock. Instantly, lines of blue light spread from their fingers. The ground rumbled. The rocks slid away, revealing a staircase that led down into darkness. It needed 3 humans, Suho observed. Very specific security. They descended the stairs. Unlike the other sites, this place powered up as they entered. Lights came on along the walls. The air felt fresh, as if the ventilation had just started working. At the bottom, they found a vast round chamber. In the center stood a tall crystal column that glowed with blue light. "What is this place?" Jisoo asked. "It feels like the heart of something," Suho said quietly. Hanbin approached the crystal column. Symbols appeared on its surface as he got closer. "I can read them," he said. "It's a memory repository, a place to store knowledge." Junho and Minji joined him at the column. The 3 of them placed their hands on it at the same time. The column flashed brightly. The light spread through the room, forming images all around them. Stars, planets, people, ships. A complete holographic display filled the chamber. A voice spoke, not in sound but directly in their minds. It used a language none of them knew, yet all understood. "We were the first," the voice said. "The first to reach the stars. The first to build ships that could cross the void between worlds." The images showed humans, people who looked just like modern humans, building great ships and traveling to distant stars. "We spread across the galaxy," the voice continued. "We built outposts on 100 worlds. We met other young species and shared our knowledge with them." The images showed humans meeting aliens, some that looked like the consortium species. "Then came the darkness," the voice said. Images showed a massive shadow spreading across star systems, a cosmic event we could not stop, a wave of destruction that threatened all life. "We had a choice: fight and die, or retreat and survive. We chose survival. We returned to Earth, our first home." The images showed the great ships returning to Earth. "We buried our technology. We changed ourselves to survive on a changing Earth. We altered our genes so our children would be stronger, better adapted to this world." Suho stepped forward. "The precursors, they were human." "Not precursors," Hanbin said, understanding flowing through him from the column. "Ancestors. Our ancestors," the voice continued. "We preserved our knowledge in these repositories, protected by genetic keys. Only when our children were ready would they find them. We knew that one day the stars would call to them again, and when that day came, they would need to remember who they truly were." The final images showed the builders of the repository looking up at the stars, then turning to look directly at the viewers. They had the same faces as the humans in the room. "We are not a young species," Minji whispered. "We're one of the oldest in the galaxy." "The consortium thought they were teaching us," Junho said. "But our ancestors might have taught them." Hanbin felt tears in his eyes. "We forgot our own history. We forgot who we were." "Until now," Taiho said quietly. He looked at the humans with new respect. "Until now." News spread quickly through the consortium. Earth was not a young world with primitive humans. It was an ancient world where one of the oldest spacefaring species had hidden themselves away. On the consortium's main world, the council met in an emergency session. Hundreds of representatives from 37 species gathered in the Great Dome. The mood was tense. "These claims cannot be true," said the delegate from Proxima, a tall blue-skinned alien. "Humans cannot be the precursors. They are too primitive." "The evidence is clear," replied another delegate. "The technology responds only to human DNA. The message in the repository is unmistakable." Taiho and Jisoo stood at the speaker's platform. Behind them, images from Earth's repository played on large screens. "We have verified the age of these artifacts," Taiho explained. "They are at least 150,000 years old. The technology inside them is beyond even our most advanced science." Many delegates muttered among themselves. Some looked angry. Others seemed afraid. "If humans are truly descended from the precursors," one delegate asked, Why did they forget their history? Why did they become primitive again? Jisoo stepped forward. The message in the repository explains this. They faced a catastrophe that forced them to return to Earth. They changed themselves to survive here. Over time, they forgot their past. Convenient, sneered the Proxima delegate. Perhaps this is all an elaborate trick. Humans are clever. They could have created these artifacts recently. Suho, who had been silent until now, joined Taiho and Jisoo. I have studied precursor artifacts for 50 years. These match perfectly with ruins found across the galaxy. No modern species could fake this. The debate continued for hours. Some delegates demanded that Earth's repositories be seized for proper study. Others wanted to restrict human access to their own technology. This changes everything, said the delegate from Sirius. Our species has built its identity on being older and more advanced than humans. What happens now? Back on Earth, Han Bin, Junho, and Minji watched the council session through a video link. Earth's leaders met in another room, discussing how to respond. They're afraid, Han Bin said. Their whole view of the galaxy is being turned upside down. Junho nodded. For months, they treated us like children. Now they learn we might be older than all of them. Minji looked worried. Some of them seem angry enough to take action against Earth. We're still not as advanced as the consortium, even if our ancestors were. In the council chamber, a new speaker took the platform, the oldest member of the consortium, from a species known for their long lives and wisdom. I remember stories my ancestors told, the elder said. Tales of teachers who came from a distant world, who showed us the first steps to the stars. They looked much like humans do now. The chamber grew quiet. We have long sought the precursors, the elder continued. Now we find they have been here all along, hidden in plain sight. This is not a threat. It is a gift. Not everyone agreed. The delegate from Proxima stood again. We should take control of these repositories. Humans are not ready for such technology. They might use it dangerously. Taiho shook his head. The technology responds only to human DNA. It cannot be used by others. Then we should take control of the humans who can use it, the Proxima delegate suggested. Jisoo looked shocked. You cannot be suggesting we kidnap humans. For their own safety, the delegate said smoothly. And ours. The council erupted in angry debate. Some supported Proxima's view. Others were horrified by it. On Earth, Minji turned to her colleagues. We need to do something. Fast, before they decide our fate without us. Han Bin was staring at his hands. The same hands that had activated the ancient technology. He looked up with determination in his eyes. The repository showed me something else, he said. Something I haven't told anyone yet. What? Junho asked. A way to activate all 7 sites at once, Han Bin said. To send a message that no one in the galaxy can ignore. While the consortium council argued, Han Bin shared his plan with Junho and Minji. They would need to visit all 7 sites around Earth and activate them at the same time. We can't do it alone, Han Bin said. We need help. Minji contacted Earth's leaders. We need 7 teams. Each team must have 3 humans who can activate the technology. Within hours, teams were assembled and sent to each site. Han Bin, Junho, and Minji returned to the main repository in Africa. They stayed connected through video links. Everyone ready? Han Bin asked, looking at the screen showing the other teams. They all nodded. Now we'll see if I understood the message correctly, he said. At his signal, all 7 teams placed their hands on the central devices at each site. Blue light spread through all the repositories at once. The ground trembled slightly. In the consortium council chamber, the debate stopped as alarms sounded. The main screen changed to show Earth. 7 beams of blue light shot up from different points on the planet. They met in space, forming a glowing network around Earth. What are they doing? The Proxima delegate demanded. Before anyone could answer, every screen in the chamber changed. The image of an ancient human appeared, a man wearing simple clothes but with eyes that held deep knowledge. "Greetings, children of the stars," the figure said. Everyone heard it in their own language. "If you are seeing this message, then the descendants of humanity have remembered their heritage." The council chamber fell silent. "Long ago, we traveled among the stars. We met many young species. We shared our knowledge with them. Some of you may remember us in your oldest stories." Images appeared of ancient humans meeting with younger versions of the consortium species. "We faced a great danger, a wave of energy from the galactic core that destroys all advanced technology and damages life itself. This wave returns every 150,000 years. We retreated to Earth to survive it." The image showed a map of the galaxy with a wave spreading outward from the center. "We left this message because the wave will return. Our calculations show it will reach inhabited space again within the next century." Gasps filled the council chamber. "Before we retreated, we developed technology that could protect against this wave. We stored this knowledge in our repositories on Earth, waiting for the day when our children would return to the stars and when this knowledge would be needed again." The ancient human looked directly at the viewers. "We offer this knowledge freely to all species as we did in the past. The wave threatens everyone equally. We must face it together." The message ended. The chamber erupted in excited talk. In Africa, Han Bin, Junho, and Minji watched as the repository displayed new information, designs for shields to protect planets and ships from the coming wave. "Our ancestors didn't just leave us a history lesson," Junho said in wonder. "They left us a way to save the galaxy." In the council chamber, Taiho and Jisoo waited for the noise to die down. Finally, the head of the council called for order. "It seems," the council head said, "that we have misjudged Earth and humanity." The Proxima delegate still looked suspicious. "How do we know this wave is real? This could be a trick." Suho stepped forward. "Our oldest astronomical records show unexplained energy bursts from the galactic core approximately 150,000 years ago. It matches their story perfectly." Taiho addressed the council. "Humans are not asking to rule the galaxy. They are offering to share knowledge that could save all of us." Jisoo joined him. "For thousands of years, humans have wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they know they are not just part of a galactic community. They helped create it." The council debated for hours, but in the end, they'd voted to work with Earth. The consortium formally recognized Earth as a legacy world with special status. On Earth, Han Bin stood outside the African repository, looking up at the stars. For the first time, he felt connected to them. They weren't just distant points of light. They were places his ancestors had visited, and places humans would visit again. "We forgot who we were," he said softly, "but now we remember. And this time, we won't forget." Above him, the night sky seemed to shine a little brighter, as if welcoming humanity back to its rightful place among the stars.